everybody, welcome back to David Will's Guitar. Thanks for joining us if this is your first time, and if you're returning, thanks again for coming back. Today I've got a whole different guitar for you, which is typical on a guitar YouTube channel, right? Can't show you the same thing. So today I'm going to show you my absolute favorite guitar. I know it's crazy because I've done a lot of these videos and I've shown a lot of guitars at this point, but this is the one guitar, if I had to pick out of all of the guitars I own, this is the one that I would keep. And for the reasons I'll go through probably near the end of this discussion of this guitar. This is a PRS SE Custom 24. Now this is like their most iconic model, and it is just an SE. It's not some fancy core model or S2. I've played the S2. I have not played a core, but I played the American-made version, and because of different specs and things, I actually prefer this guitar. So yeah, we should go ahead and take it away. So this guitar, what did I do? Did I do anything to it? Did I do all the crazy mods? The only thing I put on was locking tuners. These are PRS branded locking tuners. The other tuners were fine. I just wanted locking tuners for string changing. I actually list when I need to change strings. There's a whiteboard above my computer where I write like to the date when I changed the strings last. And I know they say you should do it every 3 to 4 months. I have a lot of guitars and I play them in rotation. I'm pretty good about playing different ones. So get a little bit longer life out of the strings. So I change them every like 6-ish months, 7. So not maybe as often as I should, but when they start to feel kind of gross or gritty or dead, then I change them. It's about that amount of time. So with that, one locking tuners, because why not? The original tuners, they were great. They're fantastic. I like PRS tuners. They don't slip. They move smoothly. They feel like a quality part. Big fan. What do we have as far as the rest of the guitar goes? 25-inch scale length. It's not 25.5. It's not like a Gibson 24.75. And so what does it feel like? Well, it feels like something in between the two. So I really like that. I feel as far as like bending goes and just movement around the neck and the spacing, it feels long enough to where my fingers don't feel crowded. As I get closer to this neck pickup, like as I'm coming up the fretboard, but they're still spacey enough where I feel comfortable. Like they're not so far apart like you'd see on like a longer scale Fender guitar, where I feel like I have to make big extreme stretches. So it's nice. It's a nice balance. You'd have to play one to really see if you like it, but it's good. I don't mind. I actually don't mind any of the scale lengths, but I guess if I had to pick one, this is what I prefer, but I'm really not adverse to other scale lengths. How does the neck feel? It is a thin, what they're calling a wide, thin neck. It is wide and it is thin. Now, I have large hands, and my hands, they feel fat. It's because I'm a fat man. Why I like that is because my fingers do not feel crowded. Now, most often when I see that becoming apparent in my playing is if I make an A shape like this, a 3-finger A in line where I'm putting all 3 fingers on the D, G, and B string. They fit and they don't mute other strings. Now, on other guitars with a more narrow neck here from E to E string, when it's more narrow there, my fingers will sometimes crowd that space and touch other strings. And you want to get them as close to the fret as you can. So it's just easier to do on this guitar, and I really like it. So that is why I just love their wide, thin neck, man. This neck is so good. It feels so good. It's actually the main reason of why I prefer the SE over the S2. If they made a PRS S2 with a wide, thin neck, I would buy it. I would buy it in a heartbeat. But this neck, man, on the S2, it's a pattern thin, so the neck is more narrow. It's not as wide, and I don't want that. I also love these pickups. Man, these pickups sound so good. I feel like at this point, PRS guitars, whether it's an SE or a core or whatever, it's really just a sound preference. And these pickups are powerful. Paul Reed Smith describes them as powerful and articulate. And I feel like that's exactly what you get. You get something it feels like you get a lot of harmonic frequency in the pickup. I'm actually going to do a video on what that means later. Like, I feel like it's a very full, well-rounded sound. And the thing that I like most about it is there's a coil split here. There's a push-pull pot here at the bottom on this tone pot. You get such good single coil tones out of this. Now, I've had other guitars. I had some Seth Lovers in a guitar, and they sounded awesome, but when I coil split them, sounded not good. Did not like it. I'm like, that is not a single coil tone, and I'll never use it. But this single coil tone sounds awesome, both bridge and neck. Now I know they use resistors to kind of get that sound in line by cut, like they don't completely coil split, they coil tap. So when you coil tap, you have one pickup that's on and one pickup that's somewhat on. They reduce the power that's going through that pickup. So you're using like a percentage of that coil, 30, 40, 50, 60%. I don't know the exact percentage, but you're still getting some of that other coil, and it gives you a single coil tone and it makes it full and rich without feeling thin and anemic. And man, I love it. Those are the sounds I want. I like it so much. The back of the neck is gloss. It's my only gripe. My only gripe is that this is gloss. If this was matte, I know you can get like a custom 24 CE, or I don't know. They have a bolt-on neck version that's like a matte finish with a maple neck. I could be convinced to maybe buy that because I believe they have the same pickups. Everything else is the same. It's just the difference. The neck is a bolt-on and it's matte. But I really like the color. I really like this. I feel like this top is really pretty. I like this black amber burst. Man, I like all the things about this guitar. So yeah. Other work I did. Fretboard not perfectly level. Like I say in like almost every video. So I did level this entire fretboard because why not? Because I have the tools, might as well do it. Again, you bring down the action a little lower when they're all perfectly level. Now, before I leveled it, did it have any dead frets? Was there a problem? No, it was not. If you have it at 2 millimeters to 4 millimeters, 2 millimeters at the low E string, descending to 4 millimeters at the high E string, it would have been fine. After leveling it, I got this plays at about 4.5 millimeters is what I have it set up to. So it's 4.5 to about 3.5. So I was able to bring it down like a 0.5 millimeter to a full millimeter. No buzzing at all. It's just an awesome guitar. Yeah, the nut, I also had to file the nut slots. They were not perfectly in line. I will say this about PRS guitars. Their nut slots are closer to what they're supposed to be than most other guitars that I check. So if I check Fenders and I've checked Gibsons, I can't say that about all Gibsons because I haven't checked that many Gibsons. I've checked a lot more Fenders, but they're nut okay, and again, let me preface this again. More caveats, guys. It's, I've checked like affordable range Fenders. Now, the most expensive Fender I had in here was like around $2,000. That nut slot was cut very well. And I also checked a Fender Classic. It was like a Fender Les Paul Classic. I believe it was like a $2,500 guitar. It was one that we owned briefly and we didn't love it because it was way too heavy. That nut slot needed a little work, but it wasn't much. These affordable like SE versions have nut slots that are like very close in tolerance. This one better than some of the others I owned, but it didn't really need a whole lot of work. I had to like lower the nut slot height by like a couple thousandths of an inch. While that doesn't sound like a huge amount, it does make a difference when you play and it feels much better to play. But other than that, yeah, everything else is stock. It's just got all the things I love. It's got block saddles. You can rest your hand here. You can palm mute. It's fine. The trem works well. I like the trims on these. I like this has got a 6-point trim. It's not my favorite, but it works fine. It just takes a little longer to set up. And yeah, I don't have any other gripes about this guitar. It is the bee's knees, guys. Yeah, I should quit gushing about this guitar that people are like, man, like everybody and their grandma has this guitar. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to those tones. Let's get Dave to take it away and roll out the red carpet and yeah, play some tones for us, and hopefully we'll get a better understanding of what this guitar sounds like. And I hope you guys enjoy it, and let me know what you think. All right, thanks for joining. Hey everybody, thanks for listening to the tones for this guitar demo we did of the PRS SE Custom 24. We just finished recording the clean tones, the distorted tones, and so now it's time to get Dave's thoughts and his impressions about this guitar. So, first of all, let's talk about the playability. What do you think of it? Just initial thoughts.
It feels good. Yeah, the neck that we were talking about is a little wide this way for me. You know, like my right hand mainly is, you know, picking the strings. Like the one where I did this chord, I was trying to hit the high string there. It was like I had to do some takes to get used to how far away that string was.
Yeah,
you know? But you know, aside from that, you know, it felt good. I mean, the action is nice, and the neck. I like the shape of the neck. It feels like flat again, kind of like we talked about. Like more, I can't remember which letter. Is that a D or something?
It's like a D shape. Yeah, D shape is the flat back. So I mean, they call it a wide thin because, you know, PRS, he can't stick with the standard that everyone else uses. He loves to go off and say, so this is the wide thin. His other guitars that are like his American made models, they're usually about the same thickness, so they're like flat on the back. But on his SE guitars, he makes some models that are wider, but on his American made guitars, none of them are that wide. So it's just this like model. I really appreciate it because I have bigger hands, and I find myself like sometimes I'll inadvertently mute strings, but with the wider string spacing, I don't do that. But of course, you've been playing like a Les Paul your whole life. You're probably used to a more narrow neck, and the more narrow neck is what you find on a Gibson. It's what you find on Les Paul. This is just very unique to this guitar, so yeah, it's easy to understand why. But as far as that goes, I mean, you didn't feel any of the frets, nothing really stuck out. I mean, tuning the guitar didn't have any issues. Anything?
Oh, that felt good.
Yeah,
it felt fine.
Yeah, it's good. All right, so yeah, those are the initial playability. So let's talk about the sound. We went through the clean tones and some distorted tones. The clean tones, what did you think of those sounds?
They were nice. Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Once we dialed it in, with like the Princeton chorus, you know, like effect on there, or like channel.
Right.
Yeah, it sounded really nice. I thought, you know.
Yeah. It was hard. Good.
Well, sorry. The thing to me, you know, the strings we were talking about, which had to be a different episode or whatever, you know, like I do notice a difference. I use the Ernie Ball Slinkies you're singing,
right,
the coated strings on this, and I like the coated strings and the strings with the webbing and everything on the like elixirs and stuff like that on acoustic. But for some reason, I don't like the way it feels much on electric. It feels like you get less response or something like that. I don't know, from what you're doing. Yeah, it's like it's too slinky,
too soft,
you know, like the grooves in the strings, and you can't feel them as much or something. I don't know what it is. It's just so
it doesn't have the
groove in.
Yeah, you can't feel the groove. Yeah, it's interesting how like just those little small differences like overall will affect how you play. So obviously, like, you know, getting the right strings. I mean, you're playing a lot of different strings with coated strings, uncoated strings. I switch strings on a bunch of different guitars. I play a few different types just to kind of get the feel of them. So, and that affects tone a little bit. I mean, there's definitely some input via like what string gauge and who makes the string. That's going to have a little bit of impact on your sound. So I did notice it took a long time to kind of dial in the tones for this. Like if we went back to like, I think the last guitar we did, I don't know if that was the Silver Sky. I feel like we were able to dial in tones for the strats pretty quickly. You know, this one took a little more effort, and especially with the like moving on to distorted tones, it really took a long time to find one that really fit the riff you were doing and getting like the right distortion, the right sound, which usually don't have that long. It doesn't take quite that long, but you know, we want to like bring you guys what we think sounds good, so you guys can hear like a interesting demo. So for the distorted tones, what did you think? I mean, obviously I think you'd probably go back to your tried and true. You'd probably prefer your Les Paul. You're not gonna, you didn't hear this and you're like, I gotta have it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it sounded good. I thought it was just, definitely felt like it took more time than to me, you know. Although I don't know that we'd have to try the Les Paul, you know, my Les Paul with this, you know, and then see, you know, because I say that, and then who knows, maybe I'd have, because I don't play this to the Kemper and stuff like that.
Right.
I have a Black Star, you know. Not that that's my preferred amp. You know, I've just learned to get used to that amp, you know.
Right.
Try, you know, still, you know, haven't that's another story.
That's another story. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But this one, I did notice like the single coil versus the humbuckers. I mean, I preferred the humbuckers.
Yeah, definitely
for that. So the clean, it was still, it was quieter, so we had to bring it up. The clean, it still sounded fine. It was more the distortion, that I was preferring.
Sure.
So
yeah. Getting the single coil tones dialed in at the same level was, because there's a volume drop when you switch to a single coil, right? You have two coils, cut off one, that's like, half the sound. Of course, PRS, they use they use resistors. You put resistors in the coil, so when you turn off the one to split it, it actually does send a little electricity through there, so they're not completely off. So it is a little louder than what you typically find on other brands that do the same kind of thing, where they split off half that coil. I think the sounds great. I really like it. I find sounds that I find interesting all the time with that particular guitar. It's my favorite guitar out of all of them. That's the one I prefer. But then again, it's like to each their own. I mean, it depends really on your style of music and what you like. But yeah. I don't know. I think we've covered the majority of it. All right, so that guitar, brand new. I think it's like $8. I think when I bought it was $850. You can usually get them on discount, right? There's a bunch of them out there. You'd probably get this guitar for around $700-ish, maybe even as low. I know you can get the like this one has the nicer top. It's gloss. I know you can get the matte finish one or the CE version, the one with the bolt-on neck. It's a lot cheaper. Like as much as I think they go as low as like $500. Would you say that guitar is worth it at that price point, or would you think like maybe it's time to keep looking? What would your opinion be?
I think it's nice. Yeah. I mean, it probably wouldn't be like my main guitar, but if I had the money to have a bunch,
yeah, you'd consider it, right? Yeah. So, okay, yeah. So, well, I think we covered most of the bases, guys. And if you have any questions, just let us know. And hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah. Any final thoughts for our viewers?
Oh, because they covered most of the guitars, not the basses.
They covered the basses. Yeah. We actually just played the guitars, guys.
No, I don't. Yeah, that's
it.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us, and we hope to see you again in the next one.